Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testifier. This is a special broadcast that we're running today. Uh, the reason that we're running this broadcast today, there's been so much in the public news, that is, as it concerns race. In fact, last night, as I was broadcasting, there was some questions that was asked in regards to race, which we're going to touch base on it. I have my guest also to elaborate a little bit more uh, on the question was asked as it relates to race. Also, I have a young lady on that is going to somewhat enlighten us on what occurred in Jonesboro, Arkansas public school. To my understanding, there was some Facebook posts made by a uh, public school teacher for Jonesboro, and of course, uh, that person um, made some comments that was considered very offensive to black people in general. Uh, it involves comments that was made by this teacher, that is, of Senator Harris, Vice President for uh, running for vice, running for on the presidential ticket with Joe Biden, Senator Harris. And of course, we're going to have our guests on that going to pretty much jump in and share a little bit about what went on with that particular case. Okay, so uh, but first I want to tell you all a little bit about uh, what took place with me last night. I just want to say last night, as we got into the discussion on the energy rates there in Osceola, Arkansas, about 16 miles south of Blythe. Um, those who know me know that I'm very much willing to speak on race relations. It just so happened last night, as I began to start speaking on race relations, um, speaking on the energy alternatives, uh, there was a question that did pop up as it regards race. And so before we get into the discussion um, of the topic that we're going to be speaking on with the offensive comments that was made by the Jonesboro public school teacher. Um, I'm going to let my guest come on and share with you all right now exactly uh, what was the intent of his question that was asked of my guest that was on last night. And so, without any further ado, I want my other guest to sit tight for a minute, and we're going to bring on my brother, who I considered like family. Uh, he and I was raised in Osceola. As a matter of fact, he also served with me on the Osceola boxing team, and many of you know him. He also is a gentleman that lives in Chicago, Illinois now. That's his present home. I say Chicago. He may live out in the county, but we all use it as Chicago. But anyway, without any further ado, I want to bring my brother on. Many of you know him by his birth name. Of course, many of you know about him by his present name. So I'm going to bring on my brother right now, Brother Ferris Shabazz, I believe is how you pronounce his name, but if not, he'll correct me on it. So without any further ado, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on, Tony? How you
Oh
feeling?
man, I tell you, nothing but the bills, as they say.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, and first of all, I think you know me well.
Yes, sir.
You got to excuse me, my peanuts too. I think you know me well.
hmm
To know that when I pretty much engage in conversation with various people, that it be in person or that it be on Facebook. I
hmm
think you know me well enough to know I always try to give a person the benefit of the doubt by showing them a little respect in terms of fairness.
Right.
Uh, Although there was nothing uh, disrespectful about your question last night, I just thought that since we were speaking on the issue energy alternative, that perhaps maybe at another uh, broadcast where the topic would be race relation,
Mhm.
maybe that would have been proper inbound question, as I stated through the conversation of inbox posting you and I had. But
Yeah.
like I say, you asked the question, and so I think it's only fair that I give you the opportunity to go ahead and share just a little bit about exactly why the question was asked and what answer were you hoping to receive.
Okay. All right. Thank you, brother.
All
Um,
right.
one of the question was asked last night because uh, the person who's running for the in Osceola, um, Brian, that's his name. Someone else had posted that he had called them a nigger, if I may use that word, or the N word. I'm sorry. So he called him the N word. And so I read a lot of the posts, and knowing I'm from Osceola myself, I wanted to know what was he thinking at the moment that he called this person the N word. When 2020 now, and they still have that backwoods mentality. Some people. So I wanted to hear from his perspective. Why would he call someone that name, and yet knowing that you are running for a seat in Osceola in the politics area there?
Mhm.
So that's the reason why I asked him. I think that uh, they're getting a little comfortable with being able to say what they want to say and have no reputation, have no repercussion behind it. So when I'm hoping to have, it was just it was a wrong, it was the right question, but at the wrong time, So yeah,
Well, as I indicated, um, I'm really as a person that, especially in this day and time, as we view all the rhetoric, race
yeah,
comments that made from our sitting current president, Mr. Donald Trump,
hmm
uh, which has caused, I believe, a greater divide uh, in this country as we know it today. I'm not saying that racism has not always exist. We know that, but it just seems like with the president that we have now, it seems like individuals are becoming so emboldened to where they can speak this language, this racial language that is, and they fear no backlash. And so, of course, I just wanted you to pretty much share exactly what was your intent. I'm pretty sure you shared that,
yeah,
and I thank you for it. I know you to be a fair man as well, stand
yeah,
up guy. Been knowing you from since your school days, as they say, like my
right,
little brother.
yes,
And
sir.
so I will say that for those who might have saw the question that you posed, I would hope that they wouldn't try to develop a negative, uh, uh, mindset in terms of, what they perceive you to be based on your question. I know you to be a fair gentleman, a good man. Like I say, I've been knowing you since a kid,
Yeah,
and that's why I wanted to bring you on where to give you an opportunity to express yourself. Uh, and so I'm hoping that Mr. House, I don't know if he's listening or if he's on, uh, but if he is listening, I will hope that he will come on and maybe, just ask a question of you.
yeah,
Uh,
you can.
and so that's why I have you on, and I wanted to go ahead and just, you know, try to share a little insight on exactly what is going on there. But we're definitely coming back
Okay, okay,
for a race relation conversation.
that'd
And
be
I would like to do it individually, maybe get one person who is white, another person who is black, and talk on that issue. And I also plan on going into the community, speaking to people from my own,
yeah,
uh, putting boots on the ground, what I'm saying, speaking to various people, trying to get their input, as well as we're going to have some group sessions.
yeah,
Maybe a group here who's considered to be, it's going to be a mixture. It's going to be black and white group coming together, and we're
yeah.
going to hear from them. And so that's something that I got planned on down the road.
That sounds.
Hopefully, you can be part of that.
Yeah. Well, it was just one of those things where I enjoyed last night conversation and show. It was just that I wasn't sure who he was talking to because being from Oak Solar, and since I've been going back home, I did try to use the golf course, but they told me it was a better one in West Memphis. So, listening to what your conversation about the solar energy, solar panels, I don't think he was talking to the people that live on the east side of town, on Alfalfa and Quinn and Shipping and Sim, all of those people, because they don't go golfing. They don't go to the airport, nor do they use Opar as much as they used to. Not like we used to. It was boxing, basketball, fellows just hanging out, playing checkers, and all of that. So not only was that my thought process when asking him about the racial remarks he made, I wanted to know who are you definitely talking to when you're talking about Solar getting all this money and yeah, we can do this and that. Look, we got a great OPAR, we got a great airport, but who's using it? It's not us. And that made it a race thing then because the money's not going to us. So the money he said that everybody's paying for the electrical bill, that's $800. My family paying $900 for electrical 1 month, and they can't even use the golf course. No, they're taking them back 50, 60 years. You can pay for it, but you can't use it. So that was kind of like my thought process last night, Tony. And
I can understand where you're coming from as well. And I spoke to him about it, but I think that he was looking at it, in which I'm going to have a conversation with him. Those people that are financially able to take advantage of the solar panel program, if you will, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have any problem.
Right.
But as you indicated, those people that live East Osceola,
right,
they're not having the funding, to do X, Y, Z. I mean, funding may be, for example, for me, I might not have to benefit or take advantage from grants, or I might not be able to go and get a loan. I may have the money on the side, and so there's no paperwork for me.
Right.
And this is what is somewhat of a headache for most people, is that there's tons of paperwork that you have to go through just to get a grant. Yep. And most people, that don't want the headaches, they don't want to go through that. And so I think what is good for one group of people, may not be, I wouldn't say good, but it may not be the right process for the next person, and so it was like speaking to two different classes of people in terms of economics.
Two different languages, totally two different languages.
And so there has to be, it's okay to speak of those who, we start talking about the social equality classes or what have you,
right.
And that's what I say in this country. When we start talking about equality, a lot of time we want to speak at it from a racial perspective. Right. But if we can speak to equality from just being a social human problem, then you will have those poor whites. It ain't like every white person is financially sound. They're not. No. And so imagine that when you start talking about class economics, right, to where you have poor whites and you have poor blacks coming together collectively, only then can we as one class move forward to go ahead and enhance or improve our own economic status, if that make any sense. And so hopefully we can get those to buy into it's now we're going to always talk about the race equality,
right?
But what goes I think when we start talking social equality, in other words, putting all of us that share a common interest, if you will, then we can start addressing class. I believe, for the most part, not 100%, but if we can start addressing class equality will somehow take care of racial inequality.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just me. That's what I believe, and so. But I give you the last words on the subject, social equality.
On social equality, I don't believe that in our lifetimes it'll ever happen. I only say that because, and I'm not making a blank statement. It's true. You're right. There's economically two types of people. But even the lower class white people will not commit to being hand in hand with the financial lower black person, because they always have to have a superiority versus inferiority mindset over you. It was just like slave time. The slave master never really dealt with it. He was the high class. He went out and got the poorest of the poor to be his main man, to make sure to keep the slaves in check. He didn't get the same high level. He never touched them. He didn't have to. He went and got someone that was beneath him. And that person beneath him made sure those slaves knew to stay beneath him. So it's like class after class, and then we're at the bottom of the totem pole. But like I said, I don't believe it'll happen. I pray to God. I pray to Allah that it will. My children and my children's children, my great and great, will see a different life than we would have that we endured. I mean, I hope they open up and let us all enjoy life for what it is, But I don't think it's going to happen no time soon with racial remarks, because you look at a man and you call him the N-word and you think he's nothing, or you don't come on the east side of town of Osceola because you don't think they're worthy of your vote. You don't think they're worthy of the ticket to be handed out. You don't think it's worthy to be cleaned up over there. Knock out some of those abandoned houses. Put the money back into the city and get some stores back open like you used to have it when me and you, Tony. We can go all up and down the donut shops, Silverfields, Cato's. We had everything. Osceola Time, Bigley, Fred. We can walk there. Now a person has to actually pay somebody on the east side. They ain't got a car. They pay somebody $10, $15 to take them where? Out to Walmart. Where the new houses built at? Out by Walmart. What did they all packed up and left and went out to a Walmart. So that's what I was saying. Mr. Brown was talking two different languages for two different types of people. And unfortunately, he wasn't talking for the black people in Osceola. He was talking for the others that do enjoy the airport, the golf course, and sometime Opar whenever we want to get together.
All right, then.
All right.
What I want to say, as always, it's good speaking with you. And I know we got Mrs. Walters in the background. We're going to bring her on. Hopefully she's ready. I always like to try to give them a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think
just say something where they can hear us. But I like for you to hang around too, because I like for you to pretty much take part in this next topic that we're going to be talking about as it relates to the Jonesboro public school teacher.
I'll be more than happy. This is it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and bring on my next guest. Many of you know her as well. She's a young lady that got strong roots there in Osceola, Arkansas. And of course, well, let me just bring on and let her tell it herself. As they say, can't nobody tell it like you tell it. So I call her Tam. That's what I call her for short. All right. So we're going to bring on Miss Tam and let her go ahead and speak to us today on this very disturbing Facebook posting as it relates to a public Jonesboro school teachers. How you doing, Tam?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm blessed. And I want to say I thank you for coming on. I thank you for reaching out to me. Basically, what I was planning on doing tonight is giving my brother Ferris the opportunity to go ahead and speak in regards to the conversation that we had last night. And then when I saw you brought up, you sent me a post about the Jonesboro school teacher. I thank you for reminding me. I did get bits and pieces of what occurred, with this particular teacher. I didn't get the teacher name, and so because I've been so busy.
Do you want me to say what her name is?
Pardon me?
Do you want me to tell you what her name is?
Well, it's all on Facebook, and so it's not like it's private.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we're gonna put it up on the screen.
Okay.
I think it's very important that we know exactly not only who's teaching our kids in school, but we need to know what kind of teachers that we have. Not in terms of their quality as far as economics, period subject or whatever, but we need to know how. We need to understand their thinking and what's in their heart. And so, and making comments such as the ones that I read, I think is very disturbing. And we as a community have to address that. And, but without any, prolonging with me talking, because like I said, I don't have all the facts. And I just want you to go ahead. Well, first, let me put this on the screen just to show the people, and I'm gonna come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Facebook posting. Can everyone see that? Can you see that, Tam?
I don't see it.
You don't see it? Okay, let me see if I can. I'm hoping my guests can see it. Let me see if I can get you in there to where you can see it. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm pretty sure you see it now, correct?
Yeah, I can see
Kind
it
of
now.
small cap.
Yeah, I
Huh?
can see it. I can see it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the post that we're talking about. Um, I guess someone being funny. As you can see above, I believe this is. I'm coming back to my guest Tam, but I'm thinking right above Senator Harris' name here. You can see my cursor here. I think there's a name. The name says Sandy Mann Henderson. Okay. This post was like about 9 hours ago. When I say post, I don't know if that means me posting it or someone else posting it. But this is a photo that was
That's a
posted
screen.
9 hours ago.
That's a
Okay,
screenshot.
then
A screenshot.
screenshot.
Because
Okay,
she posted
but
it last week.
okay, but this is the lady you all that well, not the lady, but this is Senator Harris, where the school teacher somewhat, I guess found it amusing and funny. In some cases, it can be deemed as racial, the way she depict Senator Harris, her facial and all. And we're going to be running through this here. Uh, this is a young, I think this is a student, isn't it, Tam Kelly
Yeah,
Franklin?
she graduated. Yeah, she graduated from ASU from here in Jonesboro. That
Okay.
that student, yeah, that student that brought it to her attention that
Okay,
and
let
brought
me
it to
just
the light
read.
of a lot of people.
Yeah. Let me just read this here real quickly, and then I'll come to you. It got this is the student that said, if you are truly a teacher, then I pray for any child of color that's in your classroom. As a teacher, you have a duty to not expound racist propaganda and put it on your page for parents and students to see. This is shameful, but you clearly have no shame. It is my prayer that your colleagues and the superintendent get you all the way together because you need Jesus. You can disrespect Senator Harris all you want, but she represents the best of the black community. People like you should not be responsible for the education of anyone children. That was the student, of course, and I'll
Mhm.
read you what um, I guess the school
The
teacher
teacher.
responded.
Hmm.
She say, I am not friends with one parent or child that I teach. This has nothing to do with color. She has put more black men in prison than you can count. She is not your friend. I don't care what color she is. Don't make it about race. Okay, now that was the let me find it.
The school
That
teacher.
was the posting from the teacher, uh, that came on and said what she said. So let me ask you, uh, how do you feel about not just what the child wrote, I call a child, the student, to the teacher, but do you think that the response from the public school teacher, well, first of all, how do you view the response? I mean, first the letter to the teacher, and let's talk about the response.
She's not taking responsibility or ownership of what she done. First off, she downplayed it and she said it's not about race when it is actually about race.
Mhm.
Because anytime you do clown face on anybody, that's racial, especially on a black person, because we're looking at this Jim Crow stuff. We're looking at,
Mhm.
Stambo, we're looking at blackface, we're looking at all of this stuff that has uh, plagued us in the Black community, for years. Back in slavery, back when we were trying to be free, back when we
Uh-huh.
were, trying to, have equal rights. And then all this stuff that's going on in the news, and then we have a president that's fueling, that's adding fire, putting, as you can see, you put gasoline on a already sensitive subject, and he's just adding
Mhm.
fuel to the fire. And then you have teachers who, this teacher in particular, who has shared her view. She's a diehard Trump supporter. She's posted stuff on her page, in regards to that, and nothing that the school district is not holding her responsible. But you have children that you teach, and the Jonesboro school district is have more Black students than they do white. So you have this teacher who has Black students in her classroom that she's teaching, and do you really, as a parent, like me, because I have a child that's in the Jonesboro
Uh-huh.
school district, me as a parent, I wouldn't want this teacher teaching my child anything, especially with the views that she has. If you are a public figure, if you are a teacher,
Mhm.
the stuff that you post, you shouldn't be posting, because you have to think about the fact that somebody's parent, if not your own students, are going to see what you're posting on Facebook. It's students, it's kids that have Facebook pages that's 10, 11, 12 years old. You know, she could, this school that she teaches at, it's not just, small children. These are elementary school, students. So more than likely somebody at that school, one of those students have seen this post, and probably said something about it or feels some type of way about it. They have a teacher that's teaching them about, can you really have a teacher like her teaching your child something about history, or teaching your child anything about anything, uh, with views that she has? I mean, can you
Mhm.
really say, okay, it's not that bad, it's just a clown face? No, that's not what it means to us. It's something totally different. You see a clown, we see race.
Well, all right, and that's coming straight from a parent who also have children in this Jonesboro school district, correct?
Yes.
And so I imagine you are concerned, equally concerned, that is, although your child wasn't affected directly, but due to the fact that you are a Black parent and you have Black children that participate in the Jonesboro school district,
Hmm.
and so I think that actually qualify you to speak on this very important issue. Uh, Now, I want to show something to where I think you indicated that there was no reprimand for this teacher, correct?
It was not. The Jonesboro School District posted something 4 hours ago in regards to this issue.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I want to see it. Go
and
ahead. I'm
you can go
listening.
ahead
I
and
want
share it.
to.
Go ahead and share it. Yeah, you can share
I
it.
want to pull this up right now uh, to the. Let's find it. I want to be able to pull that up. Uh, Hopefully, we can find it. I'm hoping that I think that's it
That's
there.
it. That's it.
All right. Okay. Now I want to read this here to the audience as well, uh, uh, based on what you have shared with us as it relates to the audience. From what I understand, um, again, there was no disciplinary action taken against the teacher, right?
None. And this is
We
not the
want
first time that she's done something similar, something like this. I don't And that she's gotten away with it. Basically,
so she
she's
has
done
some
this
history.
before. She has a history. Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the response, and you can tell me. I believe that this is probably coming from the superintendent. I want to read this.
Hmm.
After this was made known to the superintendent, this is the response from the superintendent, Dr. Kim, look like Will Banks.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me read this to the audience. As a public school district, please note any comments made by an individual Jonesboro employees do not necessarily reflect our district. Any comments made publicly by a school employee that reflect negatively on any political candidate or any offensive, or excuse me, any offensive uh, in any manner are made without our consent, whatever that means. Uh, Please know we take seriously all messages of concern sent to us, and we investigate each thoroughly. As the leader of our school district, I have a heartfelt desire that we should put aside our differences and come together to support and strengthen each other. Respectfully, Dr. Kim Wilbank, Superintendent of the Jonesboro Public School. Now tell me, what did you get from all that?
She's pushing that under the rug. She's sweeping that under the rug. She's basically done nothing. The teacher, uh, from what I understand, is not been reprimanded. And that, like I said, she's done this before. From the post and the responses that I saw. There is also a I just found out from the woman that posted this, that tried to bring awareness to it to the school board. Her name is Felicia Johnson. She There is a school board meeting tomorrow, 6
Oh, is
o'clock.
that right?
Oh yeah, it is at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Um, and so I want to attend. I want to go to this school board meeting. Um, Also, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it already has to be something on the agenda. Am I right or am I wrong?
You mean for the school board meeting?
Yeah,
I think there's if you want to be on the agenda, I think there's a certain amount of days you have to make that request.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I don't know
yeah.
if I don't know,
They're not.
maybe they can vote to suspend the rules and allow you to speak. You know, they can do that.
Yeah.
Since this is a serious topic, I
Hmm.
imagine that any parent, especially that is there that want to speak, I imagine they probably more than likely will let them speak.
Hmm.
So the only thing now is that I would encourage parents to show up,
Yeah.
to voice their concerns on this serious matter. Let's bring in to also join us back. Let's let Brother Ferris. I want you to go ahead, and you pretty much heard Sister Tam giving us some information
Mhm.
on exactly what occurred with the Jonesboro public school teacher with the posting of Senator Harris.
Right.
And you also heard that there is some history with this particular school teacher,
Mhm.
as well as she have the bagging, in other words, no harm done by the Jonesboro superintendent.
Mhm.
So what is your stand on that? I mean, considering we're talking about a very serious issue as it relates to race, and with this polarized, racial environment that we live in now, based on some of the things that, the leader of this country does, Mr. Trump,
Uh-huh.
has emboldened many individuals and groups
Hmm.
uh, to continue, this racial conduct. So, why don't you give us your spin on
Well, my spin on it is a lot of time what we have witnessed in the last couple of years. It's not that we don't mind someone voting for Trump. That's okay. That's their right to vote for who they want to vote for. The problem comes when they start empowering themselves to make comments to make that is very biased and racial, and feel like they have the right to do that. They don't.
it?
This teacher here definitely don't. But as you can see, and as Ms. Collins was just showing us, if someone is supporting that negative behavior, you're going to continue it. So that's just building up more for her to do more.
Yeah.
So I go back to it. I think that the racial issue in all these states, not just in Osceola and Jonesboro, it is so in tune. It is coming out of them. It's like something they holding in, and now with Trump, they can just breathe. They can let it out, and they're so happy to let it out that they're not concerned about it getting reprimanded. That's the come on, man. They're not concerned. They go back the next day and teach a black kid, knowing that they don't want that kid in that room. How you think if I had it, if it was my son or daughter, and I seen that, they couldn't go back to that teacher. I would not allow it. You can't do that because her mindset is not being fair. Her mindset is not being fair to the black students. Her mindset is that, hey, these are, and then, Tony, it really is, it don't hurt, but it kind of angers you in the inside. You know what I mean? Because we too far advanced for them to still be 60, 70 years and, behind us. They behind us. They still believe that they have to show ignorance to be smart. Really, that's ignorance to be smart. And then they got someone who's a leader that's more, and I can say it because I have no political stance on it, but he's more ignorant than they're ignorant. It's like blind leading the blind to me. And no one's going to be held accountable for nothing they're doing or nothing they have done. That woman should be fired. She should be fired. And I know you say
that was going to be my next question of each of you.
She should be fired.
She should be.
For disciplinary action, should this teacher be allowed to teach in the Arkansas public school system?
Nowhere. I'm telling you now. She can teach in the prisons, but she cannot teach nowhere where there's children of different races, not just black, Hispanic, Asian, white. Nowhere where you can taint the mind of the children that we got coming up. And Ms. Collins was right. I would go tomorrow just to be going. And they might tell me I can't speak, but that don't mean I won't. Yeah, that's the fight. Got to keep going, man. You got to keep putting that flame in, like Ms. Collins is doing. You got to make them know what they're doing, and then make some type of get some type of answer back. We're just a little tired of it. You know what I mean? We're just a little tired. That's all.
And rightfully so. And Miss Tam,
yes,
I want to ask you something. Right now, are you in knowledge? What are the parents doing now? I mean, I know you say that they plan on going to the school board meeting. I mean, is there anything that they will be petitioning the superintendent and the school board to do? I mean, do you have any information on that?
I don't. I just found out a few minutes ago, like I said, going through Miss Johnson's post, that she circled that there is a school board meeting tomorrow. It's held the second Tuesday of each month. And just so happened the second Tuesday is tomorrow. But I haven't been back on her page to see, what else she's posted or what else somebody else has posted. But I want to, as a parent, as a concerned parent, I want to go, to this school board meeting. And this is the thing too, you fired, there have been police officers that have been fired for making racial posts, on Facebook. And, so what's the difference with this teacher? Even they're both public figures, they both work for the public, so why not reprimand this teacher for something that, others have been fired for, and just like I put on my post, up under the school board's post on their page, I said she must know where the bodies are buried. It's something that she has because she's done this more than once and she still continues to do it. And they still keep, like just slapping, giving a little slap on the wrist and just letting her keep on going on and doing it. It's just like a dog, when you're trying to house train a dog and they keep peeing and doodling in your house, and you keep trying to, teach them, this is not what you're supposed to do. You hit them on the head with the newspaper. And then what they do, they come back and they do it again. Because you know why? Because you're not hitting them hard enough. That's her problem. She's not being hit hard enough.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this here. It's clear that the superintendent, based on the letter that we just showed, don't see any harm done. At this school board meeting tomorrow, first of all, do you know, you don't have to call names, do you know any particular parent that will be attending?
I don't.
Okay, what I'm just concerned, if they don't get any satisfaction tomorrow from the school board. And that's one thing the superintendent, what they need to understand, the superintendent is answerable to the school board members.
Mhm.
Okay, so this letter that the superintendent has drafted and wrote to, I don't know what, to this student or a parent or whoever, or just a posting that the superintendent put out. I mean, the superintendent, he has a boss.
Mhm.
His boss are the school board members.
Mhm.
The school board members have a boss.
Mhm.
The school board members are the electors of that particular district, which are the voters. And so I would encourage the parents to follow that process, to stay on top of it. And by all means, if there is any attorneys that is listening on, hopefully they will take an interest in this case uh, and try to come to the assistance of the students and the parents to try to get some type of legal redress for a very insensitive matter here. It definitely need uh, to be resolved in a satisfactory manner. And so, just like to say, I got a question over here. I don't know if it's for, let me see what this question is for. Uh,
I was trying to call me.
what I thought I saw some questions. Let me see. Nowhere in the county, teachers. Okay, now we did have, uh, I guess this is a statement from Miss Amanda. She got, no, nowhere in the county.
Mhm.
Teachers like that cannot be trusted around young minds. And so we have a teacher who's in agreement that we don't need teachers like that. Uh, we also have, amen, Mr. Shabazz. Uh, uh, they still living in the dark ages. And so we're getting some type of response, favorable response. Um, there you have it again, some satisfaction. And so we definitely getting some response. This is my brother here, Brother Lee. He put out his comments as well. Just speaking of just blacks in general, and what he's doing from what I read from that, he's calling up on uh, black men in particular. We got to stand up. We got to be responsible for our families, be responsible for our children as well. And so that is that. And so hopefully at some point or another, we can, go ahead and do that and let things pretty much, fall in place in regards to, just trying to continue to make improvement on race relations. But
Uh,
uh, but yeah, we have some input. This Miss Bell, how you doing, Sister Bell? Just speaking. I just like to always like to just try to show you all some of the love that you're getting right now from some of the people that who think that this is a worthy topic to be to speak on. Now we do have one other topic that came in, uh, and right here it say teachers are held with the responsibility, which is to ensure the safety of children. As a parent, how can you make sure that your child is safe if
Yep.
the teacher is displaying racial comments?
Come. Show
Now,
right.
I really share that post by Mrs. I'm gonna go back and
Mimi.
find her
Yeah.
name.
yeah.
Ms.
Mimi.
Foster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really do appreciate that comment. I mean, we as parents have to take an interest in our children' education and have to always be on top of how they're being treated and what type of school teachers that the school district is employing.
Right.
Um, and so I want you all to go ahead and give me some just give me some type of recommendations as a parent, as a concerned citizen from each one of you before we close out,
Mhm.
as exactly, what can be done. I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, how do we really help the parents and the children? Do we just let this thing just sweep it on the rug, or do we take a stand and do we say, you know, this is where this teacher has crossed the line. You know, we're calling upon the school district, the school board to do something to show that this type of conduct, racially offensive conduct that is, will not be tolerated. And so we'll start with you first time and let you go ahead and speak as to where do we go from here? How do we, address this matter and get the satisfaction that we so rightfully deserve?
We need to get as many parents as we can involved. With there is a chain of command that you have to follow, right? Just like with any job, when you're making a complaint, there's a chain of command that you have to follow. Like you said, the teacher, superintendent, school board, then what's next? You got to get these parents out. These concerned parents have to be willing to, step up and say, hey, enough is enough. This is a teacher who is teaching, that has Black students in her classroom. There are Black students at that school. Like I said, Jonesboro, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has the majority, the percentage more of Black students in their school district than any other school district here in this area rather. So my thing is, once I go to this school board meeting and see what's going on with this school board meeting, then there is another step that I am going to take. Because like I said, I have a child that's a student in the Jonesboro School District. And my next call is not going to be to the superintendent. It's not going to be to the school board. It's going to be to the Department of Education.
Well, I think that need to happen, in conjunction to what you're doing, or what the parents are doing right now. I think that the Arkansas State School Board uh, Department board, excuse me, I think they need to be made aware of this thing as quick as possible.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think uh, doing that in conjunction with the school board meeting and those other things, I think that will help further the process in terms of trying to uh, get some legal redress to this unfortunate incident by the public school teacher. Uh, but I thank you for coming on, and you can hang around if you like. I know you probably got things to do, so I keep you in my backstage in case you want to have to bring you back on or whatever.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for sharing some very valuable information as it relates to our kids in the public school system, uh, and also informing us of exactly what kind of teachers that the Jonesboro public school system are employing. All right. So
Okay.
this night, I'm gonna go to my brother and pretty much the same questions for him. Just want him to go ahead and do likewise. To tell me exactly where do we go from here? Do we just sweep it on the road, or we as concerned parents, do we demand that this school teacher be terminated or face some type of disciplinary uh, action?
That's a good question. I think that as a parent, we should look into seeing that this teacher have some type of disciplinary action. Not just because what she posted, but because what she think, and she's letting you know what she think. Her thinking is not in line with educating youth. It's not, because when you're educating the youth, you have to be biased to everything. You can't, and knowing that, I just don't get it. They know that Facebook is the worst place to put something that you really mean on there.
I agree. I agree.
You can't take it back once you put it on. You can delete it all you want, but there's always that one person who's going to Snapchat, take that picture of it, and there you go. So when you put it on there and you mean it, when you put it on it, you mean it. That's what you're thinking. This person has no place in the educational system. And like you was telling Ms. Collins, I think that I noticed that when I was in the South, a lot of parents don't like to go to meetings, don't like to go, get really involved. But I think once they truly get involved, become more active, have more of a say, then you'll see a difference of teaching. You'll see a difference of the mindset. Even if a teacher don't like black kids, you would never know it because you'll see the difference in her teaching. But you have to hit them where it hurts them, and not just be passive about it and say, "Oh, everybody think that." You can't think that way. You have to. The parents have to go out and fight for it, like I do. I have children in school here in the Illinois, Naperville area, and you don't have to tell me twice. I go to all the meetings. I'm very vocal. I let them know what I believe and know what I stand for, and they understand that. And that goes. Yeah, that goes to my kids. The way my kids act in school is how they should act when I'm there. The way the teacher teaches my kids, you better pretend that I'm there. So everything you teach them, they got to come back to me, and I might have to undo what you're teaching them. So yeah, I think the parents got to be more involved. For as race relations here in Arkansas and all over the world, man, even here in Illinois, I don't, I keep thinking it back to, well, I don't know if you remember this commercial. I think it was Coke or Pepsi, where the guys were sitting on a step, and they all had bags on their face, and they couldn't see each other, and they was cool, they was friends. The wind blew, and the bags came off, and the white guys seen they were friends with black guys, but as soon as the bags came off, everybody went to their, they sat. All the black guys sat together, and all the white guys sat together. So I think that once we remove this eyesore or racism in America, you will see a common good in the world. America can once again say we are a great country. Trump cannot make America great again. I'm sorry. You vote for him or you like him, you have my condolences. But he cannot make this world great. And I want to thank you for bringing me on, man. I really appreciate that, Tony. Been my mentor all my life. When we boxed, we used to watch you. We used to call you Sugar Ray Leonard. He was smooth with it. Yeah. Smooth walk. We tried to imitate your walk. You were the man. So
yeah,
I appreciate you. You don't know how much.
I thank you, knuckleheads, especially the knuckleheads that have grown into fine young men and young women. And brother, I will say that I am so proud to have been part of your young kids' life growing up. And I hope and pray that whatever profound effect that I had on you, I just pray that stay with you to the day that you're laid to rest. And so is myself. But nothing but love to you and your family. I thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
And don't y'all be a stranger now, right? Because I need another set of eyes and ears to let me know what's going on in the community. Right?
All right.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and say good night to you all, and I'm gonna yield to my audience when I get ready to end this broadcast to see if they have anything to say before I close out. If not, then I'm gonna go in here and get me a little snack and watch me a little television.
I know that's right. All right.
All right.
Have a great night, Miss Collins.
All right.
All right, you too.
Peace and love.
All
right.
Keep me informed. All right now. What happens?
All right now.
All right.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was my friends from Osceola, Arkansas. Thank God that they both are doing well, looking well, and very active in the community. Outstanding parents, very active in their kids' life. And it just touched my heart when I heard my brother speak on how he's involved with his children's school system and all the standard that he set in home in regards to how they are to act, as well as my sister, how the children are to act. The way they act in home is a reflection of their conduct within the school system. If we can all do that, set that standard, then wow. I mean, there is no stopping and there is no ceiling, that our kids can hit. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I do see my brother, Attorney Danny Williams, giving us a comment there, and I'm pretty sure, he'll agree. Lion Cross. Exactly. You know, the school teacher, she should be reprimanded, should be fired. You know, we don't need teachers like that. You know, young lady, Miss Williams, real tall. I'm trying to see if I got everybody. Hopefully I did. This is Mr. Brian Hokehouse. Uh, he tuned in. I was hoping that he would. Uh, I just want to say that Mr. Brian Hokehouse, uh, I didn't know I was going to be doing this show. It was something that actually it just happened. You know, I do have those shows where I may not be planning on doing anything, but based on things that occur in the community, if I feel it's a hot item topic or whatever, and I need to jump on it, then you will see me have special broadcasts like that. Uh, my sister saying, "Thank you for having me. I thank you for coming on." My brother Ferris, it was a blessing and an honor, and I just want to say to Brother Ferris, uh, Mr. Brian Holehouse, he did tune in, and hopefully, something was said to where, uh, he kind of took it in good grace, because we all are men, we all are from the same town, and we all want the same thing for Oak Arkansas. We want them to prosper, okay, and to be in good health as well. And so, if there's not any other questions that you all have for me, um, I said that I wanted to come on and speak about race, but unfortunately, that didn't go that way because of this incident with the school teacher. But if any of you have any questions for me, I'm going to take a pause for about uh, 30 seconds to see if I can get one question to pop up. Uh, I want you all to know about me. What I really want to talk about is that I'm a fair man, okay? And when I begin to speak about race relations, I'm only going to speak on what I believe that is right. For those of you who know me, I don't support any black person because they black. I support them because they right. Okay? I mean, you can be black as tar. If you wrong, I don't support you in that. Okay? So I want those to know that if we're going to really tackle this race issue, first of all, we have to do a self check. Are we up for the challenge? Can we be fair? Can we really listen and not be so quick to want to, speak words that may be taken out of context? So that's who I am. As I said back here a while, you know, my character lies within my DNA, and my DNA is a reflection of my character. And so I'm hoping that we can have some future discussions on race relation coming up soon. I'd like to ask my white brothers and sisters, join my black brothers and sisters, and let's sit down and have a true dialogue. Can we do that? And so if there's nothing else, I know the night been well spent. And many of you got to go to work tomorrow, and many of you got to do other things, of course. And so, without anything that I believe that need to come before us tonight, I'm still checking my comments. We're going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. And I just want to thank everyone. Much prayer to my sister Amanda, and ask that you all continue to tune in Tuesdays and Sundays at 6 o'clock p.m. While we'll have candidate on tomorrow, Miss Karen Ruff. She's from Oakdale, Arkansas. She's running for city council. I want to say it's Ward 2. She will be with me tomorrow, and she will be speaking in regards to why she is asking for your vote. She believes that she's the better candidate to say be putting in that seat, Ward 2, city councilwoman. Her opponents is the incumbent Sandra Brand, who presently hold that seat, as well as there is another lady, Miss Sally Parks. She also is running for that seat. Three candidates. The other two candidates, Miss Sandra Brand and Miss Sally Parks. Although I have extended the invitation for them to come on set to speak to you, the voters, as to why they believe they should be worthy of the seat that they're seeking. I have not heard from them. So tomorrow we're going to go ahead and run with Miss Karen Russ, who is the third candidate running for that seat. Okay, so if there is nothing else to come before us tonight, we're going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. And like I always say in closing, peace and love, and God bless.